In this video, we're going to cover our exact database reactivation campaign that we use for our real estate clients to help them re-engage old prospects from their existing database that had gone cold so they can start to generate more appraisals, CMAs, and listing appointments. So let's dive in.
For the last two strategies in this guide and course that I'm giving away, I'm just going to group them together for the last video because they are quite similar. We're just utilizing different channels to essentially do a reactivation or to engage people that have already engaged with us in the past and trying to get them to come and engage with us again. So maybe they were super cold, haven't spoken to us in a while, and now we're messaging them, they're responding back, and we're pretty much a fresh lead in our pipeline again because we've re-engaged them and we probably wouldn't have been able to engage them before. So this is a way of being able to engage a lot of people all at the one time and have the people that are actually interested kind of come back to us. It is a volume play, any kind of reactivation. We want to be able to make sure we have enough people in our database coming in from the other strategies that we've gone over in the first place. But then once we have enough people in that database, once a quarter we can do a database reactivation and send a message or a sequence of messages over a defined period of time to maybe a whole bunch of old leads that aren't responding to us anymore, warm them up, get them in our pipeline again, and re-engage them again and bring them back into our sales process, right? So that's why I'm going to batch these together. So lead generation 6 is the database reactivation campaigns. So really, and this is kind of like, these strategies are kind of like the lowest hanging fruit when it comes to lead generation strategies, especially if you already have a database in place. If you don't have a lot of contacts, then you need to focus on the other lead gen strategies. But if you've already got some kind of database and they've opted in and they have, you have the ability to actually message them and it's legal for you to message them and market to them, then we really want to be using this. And because really this costs very little money and can get us almost instant results if we have enough people in that database, and we can just have even one person that engages, that lists with us, makes this all worth it, right? So a reactivation campaign, we're basically putting in front a new marketing message in front of that existing leads and database in order to revive engagement and re-spark conversations with leads that had gone cold previously. So the simplest form of reactivation is to send a text message blast or a sequence of texts and emails over a few days to our list of old prospects. We can see this is one that we built out for one of our private clients, again, out of the scope of this guide. So what I've given you here instead is a basic 2-step text template that you can use on your emails, and you can start using this to book appraisals, book CMAs with the leads you already have in your database. So you can either use a bulk SMS software to send them in batches, or you can even just manually send them on your phone and just go through your contacts. If you're super old school, that's going to be very time consuming if you have a big enough database, but you can do that. And we do it off our own marketing platform that we use internally. So our own version of Go High Level, if you work with us, we would set you up with this so we can set up all of this stuff. But basically our first SMS that we send out to the leads is, hey, is this John? I want to make sure I still have the right number. So we're going to get their initial response, get them engaged. And then as soon as they respond, we can send them, hey, name, this is Aidan from Jefferson Realty, was just reaching out to see if you were interested in getting a no strings attached home appraisal and market report. So this is like super basic, but you're going to be surprised. We are going to get people that want this, especially if we're sending it out to enough people. And it's super, we're not going to get in any trouble from sending and actually offering them something of value. And from there, once we get what we call a positive reply, they're responding back to us positively, yes, I'm interested, call them straight away, and set up an in-person meeting to do that appraisal, or give them access to, maybe they refuse to have it in person or they want a virtual one first. That's fine. We just need to know how to work the pipeline accordingly. And again, we don't want to go to the effort of re-engaging them for them to go cold again. So don't think, just call. So that's the first part of this. In our system, I'll show you how we do that. Yeah, so the way I would normally do this is I can actually run it directly out of like the contacts within our system, and depending on the where you're running it. So let's say these are all my contacts, all these joke blogs, these are all my leads that I want to reactivate. I can select them, and this is a really basic way to do it. How we would do it, we'll just select the contacts that we have, and then we can just select SMS. If we just want to send that singular SMS, go proceed, type in that message. I can literally copy and paste it from here, paste it in, and send. We can send it in drip mode, obviously fill in the name from the template, etc. Now, the better way is actually adding it to an automation. So you have a multiple sequence that you're adding them to. Again, a little bit outside the scope, but you could obviously set it so once they respond to this, it automatically sends this. And there's ways to do that with marketing automation. So that's how this works with database reactivation via SMS. Via email works the same way. So that's that. The LeadGen strategy 7 is very similar, but instead we're using what we call a sponsored message. So we're basically sending a message to everyone that's contacted us before on Messenger. So sometimes with our clients, we'll use a lot of messenger marketing. So we'll send a lot of people directly to a chatbot to engage them via conversation. And they'll start that conversation and basically become a subscriber to our page and opted in for us to our page just to communicate with them and market to them over Messenger as well, which is super cool. And it means once we have enough people to subscribe, because we can start lots and lots of conversations with people. A conversation could cost us $2 to $8. And for all of those people that we're getting in and start conversations, we could do a sponsored message to once a quarter. Once we build up our database of at least kind of 500 contacts, this is worth doing. And this basically, we do the reactivation in the same way on this strategy, but we're doing it from our Facebook page and directly to all of those people from that page. So we just send a message out to all of them, and Facebook calls this, or Meta calls this, a sponsored message. And these are extremely cheap. Like, we can reach thousands of people on Facebook for as low as $20. And yeah, as I mentioned, we just probably need about 500 Facebook subscribers to do this, or people who started conversations to do this. An advanced version. So this is what we do for some of our clients on a more quarterly basis. We'll have entire chatbot sequences built out to actually do this, and use tools like ManyChat, even AI these days. We can implement that with Messenger as well. But again, that's a little bit complicated. We can see one here and how that works. As an example, so they go through, we send them this. This is for a free report. It's gone through, said, hey, it's completely free, get access to this report. They click free report, and then it says, cool, just click the suburb below to get you access to your market report. So this has a full chatbot flow on the back end for this example, so I'm not going to go into that, but this is a custom flow that we built for one of our one-to-one private clients. But basically, this is really basic. That's the text message template that you can use for this when we're setting this up. And I've got the whole, and we can go through exactly how to set this up on the ads platform, because we do it the same. So this is one that we actually created for one of our clients. I'm obviously just going to blur his details here, but I've just called this sponsored message for Q1. Obviously we can put the date on there as well for the campaign name. We need to go through and how we set this up. Auction engagement. So obviously we're going in there, we select new campaign. We've got selected engagement, manual engagement. So that's how we got to here, where we got engagement. And then we're obviously, this is how I would name it. That's my naming convention. You can use that, and then scroll down, click next. And this is going to take us to the ad set level. So if we go to our ad set level here, so we've got our ad set level here, we can obviously name our ad set whatever we want, and then we can just select messaging apps. So we want to select messaging apps, go down, select the appropriate page that's linked to, and then the ad type selected should be sponsored message. So messaging app, you'll see here, selected messenger. This ad type should say sponsored message, so make sure you select sponsored message on the ad type. It's selected to the right page. Bid control. So again, we obviously want to make sure it spends. So I just put $50 in here to make sure it spend would work for this particular client. And then I've got a lifetime budget. What's the most I'm willing to spend? This was like $300 over the lifetime, and I think it didn't spend anywhere near that. Yeah, so this didn't even spend the total budget, but we go back into this. Back into this, we obviously set the bid control, lifetime budget, start date, end date, just set that. So we want to select our start date, end date, select the page. As we can see, I show you all of this inside of the guide, and then we can set up our audience. We don't really even need the location here because we're going to use a custom audience where we basically select people that have engaged with our page in the past, and I'm going to show you how to do this. So we scroll down, and really this is where we get to our audience control. So in this case, I'm actually going to, here we've just done all of Australia, so we're not getting people like that just aren't even in the country at all. So obviously you can set a location parameter if you want, but generally if you've got the right people engaging with your page or your ads have been targeted to the right people, you're not going to have too much of an issue. So where it says Advantage Plus Audience, this is where we're going to add in our custom audience. We're going to go create new custom audience, and now we can select the Facebook page. So I believe, so it should be custom audience, Facebook page, and from here, it's going to take you to setting up that custom audience. So obviously we can select the page name, everyone who's engaged with your page is what I've selected here in the last 365 days. So we can do create audience, or you can do account center accounts who send a message to your page in 365 days. So we can obviously go in there and create an audience around that and then publish that. And then we're going to be able to run it. Age range, obviously I like to keep it pretty broad in general, as we can see here. And now the ad set level. Now we can go next. That's going to take us to our ad level, and now we can actually create our actual ad. So you can go through, write the initial message. If you want an image, so in this one, we've got an image here for the instant suburb report. In this case, we can use the copy that I've obviously provided in this example. So, hey, been a while. Just providing appraisals are curious. So it's been a while. So that's how I do that. So yes, please would be the button. So I'm going to cut that out and delete that. So I'll send you one while we're at it, which is your home worth free. So something like that. Obviously you have the appropriate image if you want to do an image. And then the quick reply would be, in this case, yes, please. So that's the button or the quick reply. So selecting the ad. And now when everyone hits that quick reply, it goes through to you. If you have a chatbot set up and you're using a software like ManyChat, you can have this go to a custom flow that has a multiple sequence, which is what we do. But again, this is just a really basic overview of how to kind of set that up, right? And then, so the connect your bot, you'll see it says connect your bot. You can leave that unless you have the ability or the technical know-how to be able to link it to a chatbot. And then we can publish it. And we've got a sponsored message that can go out and re-engage our database. And that is that is strategy 6, strategy 7. That's going to be for your kind of existing database, re-engaging those people again. Hopefully that all makes sense, and hopefully you got a lot of value out of that. So that is the entire guide that we've kind of gone over across everything. Really, to wrap things up for you watching this, as you can see, there are ample ways to generate more leads for your real estate business. And really, we just need the know-how, the right strategy, the right setup. I definitely recommend, if you want to, get the most out of this, you're going to need to rewatch specific components of this training and understand how to set it up and make adjustments and all of that stuff. So watch it, rewatch it, use it as a guide that you're constantly using. And I hope you got a lot of value out of this. I really enjoyed putting it together. But whilst I tried to cover a lot in this guide, the truth is that, like an iceberg, in order to make lead generation super efficient and profitable, it does require many elements that aren't easily visible and are often below the surface. So this is why you can copy and paste someone else's strategies and not have the same results. And those things can include the scripting, the dialogues, follow-up, nurture processes, all of this happening under the surface, the automation sequences, retargeting strategies, ad copy, and creative cycling, the way they're cycling their creative materials, and even implementation of cutting-edge AI automations that work on the back end to book appointments automatically. This isn't even taking into account the differences in performance and variations in what works from one market to another, nor the skill level of the particular agents dealing with the leads. So whilst I have no doubt that if you seriously follow at least one of the strategies in this guide, you can start building out your pipeline and getting more results in your real estate business. However, this guide does just touch on the core elements that sit above the surface that can get you started to get some immediate results and improve your lead flow today. However, the biggest issues that is going to happen after that point, once you've got those initial leads and you've used some of these strategies, that you will run into after maybe you have those success in the first 14 days to 60 days, depending on kind of market you're in, how saturated it is. Big cities are going to be more saturated. You're probably going to find the following. So the first thing is increasing lead costs as your ads start to max out your audience, which results in less leads and ads that dry up over time. You might find lead quality getting worse the longer you run the ads as you start to reach more of your target market. You might find results becoming less and less consistent over time, or maybe you won't know what to say when the leads come once you actually get them, and you're finding that you're getting low appointment booking rates and overall conversion rates because you're not sure exactly the right way to deal with the leads when they're actually coming in. Or maybe you just can't keep up with the lead flow due to not having any automated systems in place, or not the right ones. Maybe you're just using what your agency or brokerage has given you, and you don't have the right things in place to nurture specific leads based on their timeframes or the status of that particular person, right? And maybe you find that other agents start copying you and the results drop off as you get commoditized. So if you do ever run into these problems, and trust me when I say, if you run ads for long enough, if you implement these strategies for long enough, it's going to happen, and you will need to learn and test strategies to deal with these things when they arise, how to optimize, make changes, keep consistency. And this is the hardest thing in this business. So now, if instead you just want a completely hands-off system that runs predictably and consistently month on month, year on year, that's managed by a team of the best real estate marketers in the country, responsible for hundreds of millions in listings across Australia, New Zealand, US, and Canada in the last year alone, then read the below closely. So our team helps our clients focus on what they're best at, which is selling homes, whilst taking care of all the marketing, lead generation, and tech, so they can just focus on more conversations, appraisals, listing appointments, and ultimately get more listings. We even implement a video we call the authority clip that no one else is using to consistently improve our lead quality of the leads coming through. So if you're a residential real estate agent, maybe you run an EBU or a team, or you're a real estate agency owner and you did at least 200K in GCI in the last 12 months, and you want a team that can run and take care of this whole process for you, then please book a call to get us to implement our entire lead generation systems and manage the whole thing so you can get in more doors on a weekly basis and grow your GCI. And you'll be able to click a link to book a call here, check out exactly how that process works. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the other side. Hopefully you got value from this guide. If there's any other content you want to see, then comment down below and I'll be able to have a look at the types of content we can make and provide more value to you guys moving forward as well.